This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're talking about hyperhidrosis, halitosis, so things that don't smell so good, that's part of our bodies. We're also talking about the fact that you don't have to be ashamed because you're one of thousands if it does happen to you. We've had a few calls, but you're still welcome to give us a call on 0839133728 if you want to ask Dr. Darren Green a question around it. Now, Maggie called in earlier. She talked about being sweaty. You mentioned Botox at some stage,
yes.
So give us more solutions.
Yeah, so they do some electromagnetic wave therapy into those glands. Sometimes they even go and debride those glands. In other words, they look at removing some of the excess tissue and so forth. And then I mentioned surgery as well as an option, end-stage option. You know, but it would depend on the degree of sweating and also just how badly debilitating it actually is to your life.
We also talked about certain foods that we take in and then having a reaction, well, the next day or later, like garlic. I talked about the pawpaw situation where my friend has yellow hands. We had a call from Anonymous. She says, well, every time the daughter has fish in her diet, 2 days later, she can still smell sweat in fish in her sweat.
Yes.
What to do?
It would also depend on what type of fish. So she should actually note whether it's, for example, an oily fish like salmon, whether it's tuna or yellowtail, for example, and then look at it because each fish has different composition in terms of its iodine content as well as its mercury content. So sometimes when the body has to metabolize some of these chemicals and nutrients, you find that it doesn't have the ability to break down certain byproducts of that metabolic process, which then come through your secretions, through the skin, with other toxins.
Okay.
And that's important to investigate.
Well, the answer really is that there's help out there, and I'm glad that you're making it sound really simple, and that makes us feel good. We're also talking about bad breath this morning. Halitosis, what causes it?
Quite a few things. So starting from the mouth and dental hygiene, obviously flossing is more important than brushing your teeth.
We talked about this earlier, and you know, a lot of people would say, but who still flosses? Come on, you have to.
You have to. It's more important than brushing.
Yeah.
So teach your children that as well. And then obviously the tongue, the composition of the saliva in your mouth itself is based on what you're putting in. So your diet, whether you're having enough antioxidants, fresh fruit, vegetables, and so forth. Water, water, water. Top of the list.
Top of the list, okay.
And then, of course, as you go back, you can have foreign bodies in children. They love playing with beads and little wheels of cars that get stuck up there and left there for 2 weeks.
Sure.
And then you smell it a few weeks later. Polyps and ear, nose, and throat problems. You're going all the way down to the esophagus and the stomach. So tummy health is also important, and so is a dysfunctional valve, and you have gaseous fumes coming out from the tummy, for example.
Well, we're going to talk about gassy fumes in the tummies shortly. I just want to check, Director, how much time do I have? Okay, well, we're going to talk about garlic in breath. We're going to talk about morning breath. Stay with us. Flatulence. Yes, that is a reality. More of all of this with Dr. Green after the break.